So is the only one we're really waiting on Kim?
Yes, Kim's the only one that's not present that I
Kelly's
see.
out there?
Kelly's out there.
Okay.
Here.
All righty, Kelly. Okay. Well, I guess, do we have enough to go ahead and get started then? We'll let Ken jump in whenever he jumps in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Animal Shelter Board here in session at 6:05 here on the 11th of August per Zoom meeting. Welcome to each and every one that's connected with us. If you would, I will let Ms. Shannon call the roll so we can verbally hear that who's here and who's not.
Chairman Mike Barnett,
Present.
Dr. Bob Acuff,
Present.
Kelly Collins,
Present.
Sonja Keller,
Present.
Kim Birchfield, Mike Simmerly,
Present.
Wes Frazier.
Here.
Perfect.
All righty, well, thank you. Okay, most of you were emailed the minutes from our last meeting on the 14th of July. Hope you've had just a moment to go over them. Has everyone sort of looked at them just a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any corrections, updates, anything that we need to change?
Make a motion to accept.
Thank you, Sonia.
Second.
All righty. All in favor, I guess just hi or wave or something. So we're good on those. And there we are. Okay. And so Dr. Acuff, I guess you're keeping notes on this, Shannon?
Yes, sir.
So we'll go ahead and turn the meeting over to you. I don't think we're going to have a real long meeting, but there is a couple of things I think we need to address, and they're on the director's reports and stuff, but go ahead and just jump in wherever you'd like.
Okay, so our numbers are kind of low right now. We've been adopting kittens out pretty graciously this week. We are starting to see some puppies that's coming in that's been set out and picked up. There was 2 in a tote at Kiwanis Park that the city EPD was called out on. Someone did leave them a nice little bag of dog food with them, but they were brought to the shelter, and we have one that was threw out of a truck and someone got their tag number, and then one that was set out in Hampton last night. So there's some puppies that we have. Our dog numbers are around 26. We did have a few intakes this afternoon. And our cats is hanging around 74, but those come in and they go right back out as their 7-day hold is up. We've had several come in and several that their hold time will be up very soon. On our old issues, so I'm not sure that our grinder pump is actually working due to the fact we've discovered a leak underneath the new dog run area, which is literally flooding going towards the river part. You cannot walk in that area without coming out with mud all over your shoes and up on your socks. I have contacted Trademark for the last 3 weeks. The plumber's been coming out for the last 3 weeks, and as of today I've not saw him yet. So I have texted Trademark, and I have asked him to contact Joey to see where we need to fix the issue there. So hopefully that will be fixed in the next little bit. I continue to talk with Trademark and Travis to make sure that we get that fixed as soon as possible, because I'm sure that every time we turn the water on, it's running below our kennels instead of into the grinder pump. And I think that's why the grinder pump looks like it's working, but it's actually nothing's going into the grinder pump. It's all coming out through the busted pipe is what we think. ASPCA of Asheville has opened, and we're so thankful for the spay and neuter program there. We have taken a couple of different loads to spay and neuter at this time until Labor Day. The spay and neuters are at no charge to the shelter. So we take anywhere from 20 to 30, depending upon how many dogs we have, will depend upon how many, size of the crates that we get in there. So anywhere from 20 to 30, we do it as often as we have enough to make a run to Asheville. So we're glad that that is back up and going. Our local shelters are still kind of on emergency basis and like routines, but the spay and neuters getting into local vets is still a little hard. So we're very thankful for ASPCA. ASPCA is still offering the community program, and we had spoke a little bit about this last time or at the last meeting, but this program will be opened up to the community, and this is for feral cats, which we would have an intake form for anyone in the community that wanted to bring a feral cat. They would have to fill the form out, bring it at the designated time. Our staff usually gets there, the ones that's working to take them to the spay and neuters. We usually come in anywhere from 5:30 to 5:45, and we are ready to go by 15, no later than 10 till 7 to get to Asheville by 8. So we need them there fairly early for the community program. This would be a great asset to the community with everyone having feral cat issues. The downside to that is this. I did speak with Josh Harden, and Josh did recommend that we get permission from the county commission to use the Taylor DeLauder estate van that was donated so that we can get the cats there safely and bring them back. That will be, if they give us permission, that would be great. If we don't get permission, then we'll have to look for an alternative solution for transportation. The program does have to go through a shelter in order to utilize the free spay or neuter. And also they're doing an ear tip and a free rabies vaccination as well. And all of it is free through a grant that ASPCA of Asheville got. So we need to, I'm not sure if the city will need to, we definitely want to mention it to our city folks down there, but I don't know that they would need to take a vote upon the van. I think it's registered in the county. So, and that's why I said somebody that we'd need to get a vote from the county commission to see if we could use the van for that. Josh said, in case somebody's cat got injured on the van, or if we had an accident on the van, we'd need a waiver stating that you can't hold us responsible for transporting your animal. So do you guys have an opinion on that, or anybody have any comments on that?
I don't think that should be a problem if it's free.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that I'm hoping that a lot of people utilize this. We still get calls all the time about feral cats out in the community. And this is an opportunity to get a rabies and ear tip, a spay or neuter at no charge. So I'm hoping maybe we can help get the word out there, maybe put an article in the paper stating, we want this program, we want the community to take advantage of this program with the feral cat population.
Do you think you can just get it put on the county commission meeting next week?
We'll definitely try. Is Miss Patty over the agenda? Patty Woodby?
Yes.
You should
Yes.
be, yes.
Okay. I can contact her and see if it's okay. And we just need to make a request to have a vote to utilize the van. Is that correct?
Just explain to them that it's for free.
Okay.
So does that
Well,
mean,
Okay.
there is some fuel cost, correct, Shannon?
That is correct. And the shelter can absorb the fuel costs. We can take some of our animals if we don't have a full load. We can ask, maybe friends of the shelter want to pick up on the fuel. It just depends upon, I guess, what the Carter County Commission decides. And I honestly don't think that we would have any problems with, it's not a whole lot of gas going over there and back. So I don't think really the benefit versus the cost of the gas is substantially, I don't see that there should be an issue with it.
Shannon, did Josh give you a hold harmless example that you can have people sign off on?
No, but he did say that he would be more than happy to help draw up
Okay.
a signature page for those who are wanting to take advantage of the feral cat program.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, I do know that Dallas had come by, Shannon, and she had mentioned that if there was needs, but I don't think that we as a board want to get into it, of trapping kennels and things of that nature, that the estate would probably help with that because they're very much wanting to see that program be successful. But I deferred that off until we had some discussions this evening.
Sure. And the only problem with loaning or letting someone borrow the kennels is this. People will tell you, yes, I'm going to go and trap 5 or 6 cats. I'm going to bring them to the shelter at 6:30 that morning. We're going to load them up. And when we go to pick them up the next morning and we're back at the shelter by 10:30, we're going to be stuck with a bunch of cats because they didn't actually pay for the live traps to put them in. If our people in the community are serious, they will either buy a live trap or they will borrow a live trap to get that animal to the shelter for this benefit.
Okay.
If we loan them out, I don't think we're going to see our traps back. And those traps are, depending upon the size and depending upon where you get them, $15 to $30 per trap. And most of these cats is going to have to be in a live trap. And ASPCA actually recommends that they're in live traps.
Okay.
As far as the budget goes, we're thankful that the budget was approved. We're thankful for all the hard work with the city and the county on the budget. We will do our very best, as I know you all will help us in saving the taxpayers much money as we can and doing what's right for the animals at the lowest cost possible. Our staff does everything they can, to save the taxpayer $1, and we're all appreciative of that. As Mike has on the agenda, our staff has remained healthy. We're very thankful for that as well. We do continue to clean the shelter with a special cleaning agent that is used in hospitals that we can order through our veterinary rep. And so we continue to clean daily with that. We are still working by appointments only, and the adoptions are still going very well at that. I would like to ask the board to continue allowing us to work by appointment only due to the COVID situation. I know school started back. So if we continue to work by appointment, that just lets us, know how many people is in one designated area at the shelter at any given time. If it's dogs and it's pretty, we walk them outside. If it is for cats, we have one cat area and we take them through a side door, and they're in that one area only. So with
I
the board,
think it would be a good idea to go ahead and continue the appointment.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
If you need that
a
as-
motion, Sonia.
Yes, I can make that as a motion if it needs to be.
And I will second.
All righty. Dr. Rakeff, thank you. All in favor, aye.
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 All righty. Thank you very much. What else are you seeing, Shannon? Are you seeing any attitudes from some of our people coming to the shelter about us restricting, having some difficulty or anything?
Yeah, we do have people who don't like the mask issue. There are some people that want to come in and they just want to come in and not make an appointment. There's days that you will close the gate and we'll just put like a bungee cord on the gate. And we've had people to open the gate. We've had people to open both gates and drive on in. And within 2 minutes, you'll have a whole parking lot full. Some people get the notion to come to the shelter and they think the doors should be open. We wish we could do that all times, but during this time, we have to take it seriously about keeping our staff safe as we are on limited staff. Dr. Ashley just sent me a text today and said that the facility she's working for in Asheville just got, I think, over 70 cat and kittens due to the fact that the staff had gotten COVID and had to, downsize very quickly. That's something we don't want to do. We want to remain open to the public and have our animals available for adoption. But if COVID comes in and we've been, thankful so far, we've not dealt with COVID, and hope we don't. But, if it does, it's something we have to think about continuously. Do I have enough staff to take care of the animals that we have?
Okay.
Let's see. My cat on there about a rabies clinic to be held maybe in fall. The last rabies clinic that was held at the shelter was sponsored by Friends of the Shelter. The shelter was just a hosting site for that event. We have had calls about rabies clinics. And as far as I know, I don't think they did. The county did not do the ones in May that was sponsored by the health department. I've not really I've heard of one in Sullivan County, but I've not really heard of any rabies clinics locally here. And I guess that will depend upon, how many people we can allow in one area at a time. I don't know. I guess we'd really have to think about how we could do crowd control if we did do a rabies clinic in fall. It's something that's very much needed because I know a lot of people will call and ask us if we do vaccinations, that they're having trouble getting in to their local vets because they're so far backed up. Everybody's backed up. But
I was I was sort of leaning more towards the October time frame, somewhere in there, with hopefully being able to social distance somewhat. A lot of it depends on how we can park people and how we can move people through the facility.
Right.
Maybe we set it up on one side, have people completely on the other side, ask them to stay in their car and things. But I just figured there's a need out there, and it might be a good thing to, have our shelter there again as a focal point that's getting good, publicity from doing that. But there again, I think we have to be careful. We're going to have to watch the numbers through this month. And even if they do football on the high school level and see what's going on there. But I would, like to maybe entertain that discussion again in our September meeting, if the board's fine with that after we see how the county's doing.
Absolutely. There's a great need for it. Just this week we had a case of a cat that was hit by a car down near Hardee's, and a lady stopped and picked the cat up, and she took it to a vet clinic, and she wasn't the owner, and the cat was had some extensive damage, so she wasn't able to afford the extensive treatment or to even, see what was going on. So she brought it to the shelter, and at that point we took it to a vet. Once the cat got to the vet and they examined it, it was severely, pelvis was crushed, as they say. Both legs were broken, had several broken bones, and was pretty severe. The cat bit a technician before they got the cat euthanized. At that point, the cat had to be tested for rabies. So, rabies is always a concern in any area, and we never know where we're going to get these animals from. So, rabies throughout the county is a very good thing. Like I said, we still are getting phone calls about vaccinations, and people are a little behind on vaccinations due to the COVID outbreak in the area.
What does the board think?
I agree. I'd like to see us visit this maybe in September and get ready for the fall, October, early November.
Okay. Kelly, you and Dr. Acuff on board with that if we can?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, good. All right, you got anything else, Shannon?
No, I think everything else pretty much, the shelter is going pretty smoothly. We did last time speak of the fee for the rescues, and the rescue was good with that pool fee, as they call it, and they continue to be interested in several of our animals that come in. They follow our Facebook page, and they like a whole lot of our animals. So, but we don't want to send as many to rescue because we are committed to Carter County, and we want to keep animals here for our county and our communities to have adoptions. So we want them to have first pick at our animals, and then if they've been posted for a little while, then they've had an opportunity, then if the rescue's interested, then we'll speak with them at further length.
Good. All right, board, have you all got any concerns or comments or anything you want to talk about?
I'm good.
I do want to thank you all, both city and county, for continuing to support our shelter. I appreciate the effort. I know anytime we look at budgets, it's never a pleasant experience. It's very time consuming. There's a lot of concerns, especially in our continuation of what's going on in our economies, both nationally and locally. But I do appreciate all the work. Our shelter is blessed to have people that care for it, that are working to try to continue to support it. But I think you all see that our director and staff and even the Friends Group and others are doing what we can to try to offset those costs as we can. These free spay and neuters and things of that nature make a huge difference. That saves a good bit of money, and we need to take all the advantage of those we can, which enables us to get these animals out of our shelter, I think, in a more timely manner. So it's all works together.
Very
Chairman?
well said, Mike.
Yeah. Chairman, let me ask Shannon, where are we still doing our, I know that Suzanne and Chris Prince for a while were doing vet buddies. Are we still offering animals to our veterans in terms of, I assume, as we had in the past, that it was a free adoption for them?
Absolutely. Those guys that come in, and I have not spoken with the Prince lately, but as always, if they bring someone in, they usually help them find a pet that is suitable for that person. Absolutely. That animal will either be sponsored or it will be at no charge to veterans buddies.
Okay, I'm glad we're continuing to do that, and probably we need to remind folks that we still have that program, particularly in times of COVID.
Yes, absolutely.
We're seeing across the board individuals who are, I don't like to call it socially distancing anymore. I like to call it physically distancing, because I do think that this type of time that we get together online is I know we have to do it, but I just don't think it's healthy mentally. And I'm not going to go any further than that, but as I mean, I've been on Zoom all day today, and it's quite fatiguing. And one of the individuals that was on our Zoom call a few minutes ago before I joined this one had her dog in the room with her, and it just reminded me of our vets and others, but particularly our vets who need that companionship.
Well, did you see Kelly's dog come behind her a while ago?
Yes, I did. That was a good thing.
It is, absolutely. And yes, I think we can promote that on our pages at the shelter, or when they talk to people, ask them if they are a vet, and things of that nature. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else there, board? Well, are we wanting to look at September 8th? Hopefully we have better numbers and can meet in person, but I guess we'll have to play that by ear after the 29th. Is that correct?
That's good with me.
Okay. How about everybody else? The
That
8th.
works for me. I'm good.
Alrighty. Mike, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty. Wes?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty. Well, Shannon, if that's fine with you, then we'll put in the minutes that we are going to meet on September 8th at 6, and then we'll determine how we meet and where, I guess, a little bit later as we get closer to that meeting. Sonia, do I need to sign the older minutes, scan them and email them to you?
You can, or if you want to sign them and just leave them at the shop, I'll try to run by Thursday or Friday and pick them up.
Okay, that'll be fine. I can just do that.
Just leave them for me and I can ask somebody for them. Thank
Okay,
you.
that sounds good. All right,
Hi, Kim.
I guess we need a motion.
I'm
Kim
making
joined
a-
us, didn't he?
What?
Kim chimed in there.
Yeah, he's come in a little while ago. I haven't heard him say anything, but he come in a little while ago, so.
Well, hello, Kim.
He's got his phone's on mute.
Okay. Well, that's all right. We know he was with us as far as that goes. All righty. Well, board, thank yous again. Shannon, thank you for all you do and your staff.
Oh, it's an honor to be a part of the shelter and this board.
All righty. Sounds great. Well, we'll talk to you a little later. Anything y'all need, you know where I'm
Right.
at.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good night.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.